Now, if you're anything like me, at some point in time, you've probably been playing an amazing retro video game and you thought to yourself, wouldn't it be awesome if me and my friends could play this together online? Well, thankfully, there's a new company out there called Piepacker that is looking to give gamers that exact opportunity. The simplest method by far to play games with your friends is to utilize their free cloud gaming service. It currently runs within Google Chrome and requires no software or app downloads of any kind, which is awesome. Simply create an account, choose the game you want to play, and then start a gaming session up. There's a diverse list of officially licensed games you can play, spanning many different gaming genres. You can also get advanced control over various different things within the game, such as pause, saving the game, loading up save states. You can even rewind gameplay in certain instances. Players can choose to use their own computer's keyboard, or they can use a wide variety of gaming controllers already supported. And if the cloud gaming platform isn't impressive enough, Piepacker also just recently launched their Kickstarter to where you can back their Pi Reader, which is basically a little console device that allows you to insert actual physical game cartridges for Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, as well as Sega Genesis games. You can put them in there, it interprets the data, puts it on the computer, and allows you to play those games that you physically own online with your friends in the same way you would with these built-in cloud games. So I am absolutely ecstatic to see this. I hope it works just as well as the cloud gaming web portal does thus far in the beta system, because if I can plug in something like Streets of Rage 2 on my Sega Genesis and play with friends all over the nation, it's going to be an absolute game changer for retro video games in terms of how we play and enjoy these with friends. So I've been beta testing this for a little while now, and I gotta say the cloud gaming aspect of the Piepacker platform is nothing short of fantastic, at least in my experience thus far.
As connection-wise, it's good, but what kind of delay are you feeling as far as input? Is like
half a second.
Half a second. Interesting. That's why I've been curious to test this with other people, because like
I'm running an i7 with 16 gigs and NVIDIA with a 1050.
Yeah.
You and a rundown of just the beta platform and how everything works and functions, because so far it's very simple and easy to use, and I think you'll be kind of impressed. Alright, so let me give you a basic overview of the beta Piepacker. This is the cloud-based web portal version, running it through Google Chrome, and again, this is beta, so things may change in the future, so depending on when you're watching this video, things may operate and look completely different. But as of right now, I logged in with my account, and I'm greeted with this screen. It's just got some, splash screen type of thing with the games I've played. We got featured, so recently played, featured games. These are your major party titles. You got Worms, you got Xeno Crisis, Earthworm Jim 2, Micro Mages, Sensible Soccer, but you can go down, go to all the multiplayer games. You can simply scroll through, find which ones you want. Go subgenres, so platform, shooter, sports, fighting, puzzle, racing, indie games, and then of course all games again. Whatever game you want to play, it's very simple. You're just going to click on it. It's going to bring you to this screen. It's automatically going to detect any kind of webcam, USB camera, microphones, things like that into your system. So as you can see right now, it's already brought up my camera that I use for streaming. Didn't have to do anything, it just automatically detect and defaulted to it. If you want to use a different camera, you just come up here to this gear, and over here you can turn your camera off, turn it back on. But this is all the different webcams I've got connected to my PC. Just gonna leave it there. Same thing with microphone. If you've got multiple sound input devices or mics or anything like that you've got hooked up to your system, it's going to detect all of them. Just click in the drop down menu which one you want to use. Same thing with speakers. If it defaults to your monitor speakers, or if you want to go into a headset or something like that, just pick it. But in my experience, it's worked exceptionally well natively, just automatically grabbing everything that I want. So close that out. Tells you how to play. Keyboard hint, the specific game. So if I'm using a keyboard, that's the keyboard layout. If you want to know how a gamepad would typically line up, you click down that drop down menu. Shows you the basic layout for gamepads, game info, brief description of the game itself. But as you can see in the right hand corner, it loaded, it says it's ready to go. You're just going to click enter room, and it's going to load up the game. Now I've already played this, so it's going to ask me if I want to continue where I last left off, which is very handy. I'm going to say no. But we got various little on-screen options we can tweak. So here's the game sound. I can toggle this all the way up. That way, if you and your buddies are trying to talk and the game's too loud, you can turn it down, or vice versa. I can pause the game. Obviously, some games have built-in pause, but some games don't, so that's a very handy feature. I can hit pause down there. If something freezes, hangs up, it's, again, beta, so if something messes up, you can restart the game. So you just click that restart there. Save icon, again, you can save your game, which is a fantastic feature in my opinion. I love that. And then, of course, here's the most important part. Your friends are waiting. Invite them to join this game. So this is the magic URL that you'll need to send your friends if you want them to join in, have a video chat, and have them play with you. So you simply just copy that URL, send it to your buddies. They click on that URL. It brings them to this. If they haven't created an account, it'll ask them to create an account. But then it brings it to the same screen we just came from. So your buddies will click on this. It'll detect any kind of webcam, microphone they've got set up on their computer. If they don't, they can come in and hang out. There's a write message down here, so there's an actual physical chat, so they can type and chat with you, so they can hang out and chat if they don't feel like being on camera. Or if something happens, say, oh my god, my battery on my camera died, or my microphone's not working, give me a second. You can, type that message down there. But as far as gameplay, I've got a USB Xbox One controller, just a generic controller. I plugged it in. Haven't mapped anything, haven't touched anything. I literally just plugged it in, and we'll see if it works. Bada bing, it works. That's fantastic. And that's what I like about this. It just works. It's so user-friendly, intuitive, things like that. You play the games, you enjoy the games with your friends. One thing I have noticed, though, as far as the camera you're seeing on my screen there, my webcam, I have a little more headroom on my actual camera display. However, it's cropped it a little bit in terms of how Piepacker displays my image. So obviously it crops, gives me a square box image to make sure it's not a wide 16:9, but it's also cropping a little from the top and the bottom to get me in that box, I've noticed. So nothing major, but keep that in mind. But using the D-pad, analog stick works great. Buttons, extra responsive. I mean, there's no delay at all in the input, and obviously, Earthworm Jim 2 is not the most intensive game to run or perform on a PC in these days, but it just works. Like I said, there's no delay at all. And if I want to play a different game, I'll just back out. I can reset the game, but I'm just gonna click on the Piepacker logo here, and we'll try a different controller, because that's one thing they really do tout, is how well their controller support is. So let's see what we got here. So got a PlayStation 5 controller. It's as new as it gets. I'm gonna plug that in via USB into my computer here, and we'll pick a different game. So we'll click Xeno Crisis. Same thing, goes to your normal little keyboard microphone setup screen. It'll be loading over there on the right side. Once it finishes loading, we can enter the room. Now, one thing I have noticed that is a minor gripe, if you will, or a minor complaint of mine, is when you or your buddies are playing games and you want to back out and play a different game, you have to send them the new magic URL. You can't just stay in the room and they follow you along. You have to send them a unique URL each time you change the game. So, like I said, it's not a deal breaker, but it is a minor nuisance, because if you guys are bouncing around wanting to play various different games in a short time frame, well, you then got to communicate that URL every single time you do it. So PS5 controller is working. Like I said, I just plugged it in. There's no mapping involved whatsoever. I'm just hitting the start button on the PS5 controller. D-pad seems to be working. We'll find out real quick how well it works. I'll make sure my controller's up here so there's no fancy business. Nobody thinks I'm doing some internet trickery. This is a fun game too. Check it out. It plays very much like Smash TV. So, and sure enough, we are having controls without issue. Make sure, sound and everything's good. Wonder if I can use analog stick. Works fine. This is amazing that it just works. It's fantastic. I love it. All right, let's back out. Let's try a different game and a different controller, because why not? I'm curious. They pretty much jokingly advertise that you could plug in a potato. So here's the Xbox Series X controller. Again, we're going new. So let's play some Iron Commando. Fun little side-scrolling beat 'em up. Again, brings us to the screen. Game's loaded. We'll go ahead and enter the room. There we go. And there's also some other options up here. So again, you got your chat box here, masks. So think of this like, I don't know, just like animated emojis or filters for Snapchat or something like that. I can put a mask on my character if I wanted to. It's probably a little off there because I'm off at an angle. Yeah, it's not recognizing where to put that mask exactly, but then again, I'm also not the type of person that's going to utilize this. But if your buddy's having a bad hair day and he doesn't want his face on camera, well then, you know, your friends or family or whatever, they can put one of these little animated masks on top of their video while they're talking and playing the game. Alright. Xbox Series X controller so far. Yep. Working exactly like I hoped it would. Pick our character. I just love that you plug it in and it just works. No mapping. That's crazy. I don't know how it works, but it works. You know, PlayStation 5, Xbox. And obviously the button configuration is probably going to vary. Yeah. So I'm hitting X and A. Obviously X and A is not going to interpret exactly on a PlayStation 5, so you'd have to use different buttons, but overall the functionality is going to be relatively the same. So analog stick's working, D-pad's working. Once again, no input delays. Loving this. Alright, we'll try one more. Back out. One more controller. What else do we got? We've got an arcade stick, because why not? We've tried all the new controllers. We've tried a generic USB controller. So far, everything's working great. But let's try an arcade stick with an arcade style game. So, Rage of Dragons, nice little fighting game. I will tell you, I'm not good at it at all. I've only played it a few times, but should be all right. I'll try to hold it up here so you can see everything, but obviously it's going to be not ideal for me to try to play it like I'm holding, you know, prison food. All right, insert coin. What do we got? Start. Select. There we go. All right, so my select is my coin. Start starts, obviously. Joystick. Yep, sure enough. Works like a charm. I'm not familiar with any of these characters because this is not my game, but it's working. So far, at least. I'm going to get trounced just trying to demonstrate the control working, but you know how it is. Alright, make sure everything works. So back, forward, up, down. Yep. Man, that is good as far as response time. Anybody that's playing an online fighting game, you will know when games lag as far as your input, and this has no delay whatsoever. Alright, let me put the game back in my lap so I can try to play this a little better. I'm just getting beat to death by urban Bruce Lee here. Yep, I got destroyed. But anyways, it works, and that's what we wanted to find out. So let's back out. So we know pretty much any controller I've plugged in has worked thus far. I haven't found one that didn't work. The intuitiveness of the game, like I said, it's very simple to get in the game. It's very simple to share the game with your friends, and it's also crazy simple to hook up a webcam, a microphone, all that, because it automatically senses it and just puts it in there. And if whatever reason it doesn't sense it, you just go to the drop-down menu and you find it. I mean, it's very impressive. So what do you think? Is Piepacker the next big thing that's going to transform the landscape of retro video games as we know it? Or is this just going to be a flash in the pan type of thing that peters out softly into the void? Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like button. Share this video with your friends if you found the information helpful. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Really means a lot.